sandwich him and shock everyone else's world. Because in my world, I'm going to beat him.
UFC 330, Philadelphia. August 15th. Ian Machado Garry isn't stepping into Philadelphia just to fight. It looks like he's arriving to take over. This is the camp that could define everything. The preparation. The moment that changes it all.
Nice. Nice again.
Watch how he moves. Every step, every angle, every pause feels calculated. Ian Machado Garry doesn't look like he's simply throwing strikes. It looks like he's crafting a masterpiece. Pure technical precision at welterweight. Every workout, every sparring round, every repetition has been leading to one collision. August 15th.
How many is it going to take for you to get really pissed off? If I'm in this, how many times is it going to take you to get annoyed? But wait, it's the same attitude. I haven't got to go. Boom! Boom! Just this. Think. Keep my guy. Think. What am I going to do? I'm just going to start kicking. This shit don't make sense. Boom. Hey, 100%. I'm going to start kicking. I'm going to start throwing knees. The worst you want to get is someone grabbing in here and so.
Now here's where the conversation gets serious. It looks like Ian Garry brings problems Islam Makhachev may not have dealt with before, and that's why so many people believe this is more than simple hype. The reach advantage is impossible to ignore. Garry's 77-inch reach at welterweight creates a nightmare matchup. Insiders say Islam has never shared the cage with a southpaw this long, this accurate, or this calm under relentless pressure. Every time Islam commits to a takedown, he first has to navigate the snapping jab, the check left hook, and the razor-straight right waiting down the center.
I think it's going to be a good fight. Ian Garry, it's definitely a tough opponent, very good striker. But Islam, once again, his goal going to be to bring the fight to the ground, and I think if he's able to do that, he's going to have an edge. If Ian Garry is able to keep it on the feet, and Ian going to have an edge, so it's going to be interesting.
Do you see Islam giving like a lot of problems to these welterweights? Like currently the top guys are Ian Garry, Michael Morales, Carlos Prates, all who are very dangerous in their own ways. But it seems like, skill for skill, Islam has the ground edge over all of them. It's just, can he continue to level up on that?
One of the greatest welterweights ever appears to recognize it. When Georges St-Pierre suggests a fighter could have legitimate answers for a pound-for-pound king, people tend to pay attention. You don't simply brush that aside. GSP understands exactly what it takes to rule the 170-pound division, and it looks like he believes Ian Garry has the tools to make that blueprint a reality.
No, change the angle on your punches, Fabs. Not always straight. Sometimes looping. Better.
This is the detail many critics keep overlooking. It looks like Ian Garry's ground game is no longer the liability people once pointed to. Throughout this camp, insiders say he's been obsessively sharpening his takedown defense. Underhooks, fence control, scrambles. Every scenario has been rehearsed. He's not expected to out-wrestle Islam. The real objective is making every takedown attempt so exhausting that the price becomes too high. Every defended shot chips away at Islam's gas tank. Every successful sprawl resets the battle on the feet, right where Garry appears to hold his biggest advantage. Now comes the comparison everyone keeps making. It looks like many fans see shades of another iconic rivalry. Could Ian Garry against Islam Makhachev become this generation's version of Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov? The similarities are difficult to overlook. An unbeaten, magnetic, technically elite striker armed with exceptional reach, fluid movement, and fight-ending power preparing to test himself against the most dominant grappling force in the sport. The stage couldn't feel much bigger.
Multiple times, time after time after time again. I want to beat the best in the world, and to be the best, you've got to beat the best. Islam is at the tippy top of this. So I look forward to a challenge like Islam, and the truth is...
This is where Ian Garry separates himself. Conor McGregor famously declared, We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. Garry appears to follow that mindset in a different way. He lets his performances speak louder than any prediction. Fight after fight, statement after statement. The unbeaten record doesn't look accidental. It feels carefully built, a system driven by confidence, discipline, and relentless execution when the pressure is highest.
Gary's very cocky. He believes in himself, and you might find that annoying and a little bit frustrating, okay? But he's a fighter. You're supposed to believe in yourself.
He's never fought someone as long and tall as me. He's not fought someone as fast as me. He's not fought someone who has the distance management, the boxing capabilities, the head movement that I did, but also the takedown defense. He might get me down. I hope he does. Because I want to prove to the world that he can't submit me. I don't care if he's an internationally recognized master of Sambo or not. I'm going to bounce him on his skull. I'm going to take his title. I'm going to take his throne. And I'm going to finish that consecutive win streak. And I'll always be the guy that stopped history from happening.
And I'm telling you right now, this fight for Islam Makhachev may be a lot
Completely unbreakable. It looks like this is the opportunity he's been preparing for his entire career. Philadelphia doesn't appear capable of shaking his focus. The crowd won't change his mindset. Even standing across from Islam, he seems determined not to let a single moment crack his composure.
Ian Garry believes he's going to beat Islam Makhachev. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to come out right now and I'm going to make a prediction for you. This fight's going to be huge. And by the way, Islam about a month ago started teasing on his social media that he's got a big announcement coming soon. And I took a great joy in being able to inform Islam, no, you don't. There is nothing huge out there for Islam Makhachev.
Chael Sonnen believes Ian Garry can beat
Chael Sonnen appears to believe Ian Garry has a legitimate path to defeating Islam Makhachev. In his view, Garry is the complete package. Still undefeated, explosive, exceptionally long, sharp with his timing. And so far, no opponent has truly uncovered a major weakness. Yes, Islam Makhachev sits on top as champion. But history keeps reminding us that every champion eventually faces the right challenge. When Sonnen looks at Ian Garry, it seems he sees a fighter whose greatest version has not even arrived yet. Makhachev has looked vulnerable before. Dustin Poirier created dangerous moments. Sometimes one opening is all it takes. If Garry is quick enough, disciplined enough, and determined enough to capitalize on that single opportunity, many of today's doubters may end up questioning why they dismissed him in the first place.
The most complete fighter in the UFC, but Ian Garry's game planning and fight IQ takes him up a notch as far as difficulty to beat. He's got a frame that's very hard to close distance on, and not only that, his ability to maintain range is really good. He stays behind a jab. He's very intelligent, sort of like Cyril Gane, where he engages on his own terms. If he doesn't like what he sees, he tries to back up and get a fresh start. So Ian Garry is actually probably the toughest opponent for Islam Makhachev at 170 right now. But
I think that Ian, because of the cardio and the experience and the fight intelligence and just the technicality of what he does, I think he's probably the toughest fight in welterweight for Islam. You know, I think you and I talked about this before. Had they given it to Kamaru Usman, I wouldn't have had an issue with it. I thought that that was actually one where like legacy was still there, and because Kamaru was so close to the end and he was able to beat Joaquin Buckley, like that wouldn't have bothered me. But the stylistic matchup I am most intrigued by is Ian Machado Garry, and that's even with Morales and Prates. And I think that's just because these guys still got time. They still got a little bit of time to grow. Islam Makhachev is the number one pound for pound fighter in the sport. Ian Garry looks like he's ready. He's ready for this opportunity. There is no doubt about it. He doesn't have the flash of like Morales and Prates, but he is, he can create some problems, man. I mean, let's not forget, like Islam Makhachev had some tough moments with Dustin Poirier, you know, and what was that? Like a year and I'm losing track of time, but that wasn't all that long ago, man, that he was in Newark, New Jersey, and he was like digging deep against Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier is obviously a great fighter, but Ian Machado Garry is a welterweight. He's young. He's in the prime of his career. He can counter wrestle. I'm interested. I'm very
Philadelphia, August 15th. Islam Makhachev arrives with relentless wrestling, suffocating submissions, and the reputation of the Dagestani system. Ian Garry steps in with superior reach, constant movement, elite fight IQ, and absolute confidence. One man has dismantled nearly everyone placed before him. The other still carries an unblemished record. It doesn't look like another Conor versus Khabib story, because Garry appears to have studied that blueprint, learned from every flaw, and shaped his style to answer this exact challenge. On August 15th, Either the reign survives another test, or the sport witnesses the rise of a completely new champion. Ian Machado Garry, Philadelphia. Everything points to this being the moment that could redefine his career.